Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of the Trade Ideas Market Recap. Today is Thursday, February the 27th. My name is Barry Anderson, and I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the address to get into the room, and you can log in as a guest or use your Facebook or your Twitter account to log in. Most of us are in the room from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday to Friday. I do try to get into the room no later than 8:30, though, and sometimes I'm there as early as 8 o'clock. Now, the room is open 24/7, so if you have a question about the program itself and you'd like to post that question in the room after hours, feel free to do so, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Now, before I get on with what I'm going to be talking about today, I do want to bring up the fact that we still have our customer special going on for today, and tomorrow is the last day. So if you have a demo account right now with Trade Ideas and you are just still wondering if it's the right product for you, well, you can have the first month for only half price, which would be $37.50. If you have Trade Ideas and you are still wondering about perhaps getting the odds maker, again, a terrific deal right now, $500. Normally it's $1,100 value. So again, if you're sitting on the fence, now would be a great time to try it. And you would also get one customized strategy for that price. So let me now go into the stocks that I actually traded today, talk about them. I'm also going to talk about this particular strategy here, not so much about the strategy itself, but I had a lot of emails about how I'm able to color code my strategy so that when the trigger price hits, my stock will turn from white to blue. So it's a very nicely, it's a great visual for me instead of having to constantly monitor the list to see whether or not looking at a price to see whether or not it's hit. I can just look and check over here, and if it's blue, then I know the price is hit. So I'm going to just quickly show you how I can color code, how you can color code things. But first thing I want to do, though, is before I get into the stocks that I actually traded, I want to give out another big shout out to one of our traders, Trader 14. He alerted us to MYL, Mylan Incorporated, at right around this time. I think it was right around 7 or 10 o'clock. And he said it was right around 54.50. And he actually said his target was $57. And so I know a lot of you got into the stock right around right around this level here. And if you were fortunate enough to ride it all the way to his target, that's great. But you know, he's had a lot of great picks over the last couple of weeks. So this room is not just all about me. We do have a lot of very good traders in the room. So I know at the end of this blog, or video, I always encourage you to come into the room. But as I say, we do have a good group of traders. So let me go on to a couple of the ones that I did. And CITRIX was one of them. Now, CITRIX was actually alerted to me as a short right in this area here at 947. I didn't take it. Actually, today was a rather frustrating day for me because PEIX and DANG were both fantastic plays, and you can see they showed up in my strategy early. And today I was a little bit distracted with doing other things, and also the fact that I still have this bit of a bias about not trading before 10 o'clock. I wish I had in these cases because you know, these stocks did fantastically well. Let me just show you. If you didn't trade PEIX today, you can see that. I mean, it just roared right to the top, and DANG I think did basically the same sort of thing. But at any rate, that's just sort of my style, not to trade before 10 o'clock. But I guarantee that if I keep seeing the alerts come in earlier than 10 like this, I will start to take them. But anyway, we did trade I always want to call it CITRIX because you know, that's what it looks like, but it's actually Catamaran, and CITRIX, of course, is another company. But again, as I said, I was alerted to it as a short situation, and I didn't take the short. It was before 10 o'clock, but I definitely had my eye on it, and I know I said in the room that if it got above 40, it was right here at the $45 level, so I was anticipating maybe a bounce. And I said if it got above the 45, I think 8 level, I was going to take it. Now, luckily, what I did was I put in what I call an anticipatory order in. In other words, I had placed an order in at 45.12 to take the stock. And because when it was going down here, I thought, well, maybe it wasn't going to do it. You know, it wasn't going to give us an opportunity. But you can see what happened on this candle right here. This is a 2-minute chart, 2-minute candle, and it just flew through my price. And if I had been waiting around trying to manually do it, I never would have got it. As it turns out, I didn't get all the shares I wanted, but nonetheless, I was able to get some shares, and you can see the candle just expanded right here, and the next one, and as it kind of meandered in this area here, I decided to take my profit. Now, I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd waited another 10 minutes or so because it had another tremendous lift. But I was happy enough to do this because this was a stock that had been up and down, and you never know. It could have just dropped here. So I was very happy to take a 40-cent profit in about, I think it was about 5 minutes. Now, the next one that I did was DOV. Now, I'm going to get rid of this window here. This came from this particular set of alerts that I'm still really practicing on, testing a lot. And the trigger was, the actual trigger would have been 91.08 right there. And so I got into the stock at 91.10. And I just basically rode it for most of the day. I think I got out right here at 91.61. I see right at the end of the day, it actually did another little pop. But I mean, happy enough to do this because these trades are not, I can tell right now, they're not as dynamic as the PEIX or the DANG. But for me anyway, for my trading style, they're usually fairly stress free. I mean, I know we had this little jog down here and another one here, but they're usually fairly stress free. The spreads don't get all wild. And so I'm usually happy enough to hold on to this type of trade. And I didn't get a lot of alerts on this today. I did trade PFE and also CA for marginal gains on both of them, but we didn't get a lot of alerts on today. But that doesn't matter. I was able to get the one that I really wanted, and as it turns out, it had actually the biggest gain. It actually from the trigger point to the highest point it ever got was 70 cents. So that was actually the best one. So I did hold on to the best one. Now, talking about the color coding, and as I say, a lot of people have asked me, how do I get it to do this? And I'm just going to show you an example. Now, what this top list is doing, let me just bring in the summary, is we need a current volume of at least one, so a relative volume of at least one, and we've got minimum number of shares traded is a million shares. And I've also only want to see stocks that are almost trading at the high of the day. In other words, what this is telling me that these stocks are all trading within 5% of the high of the day. So and of course what's happened is at the end of the day I had a lot more added in here. And you can tell right here that, here's 100%, 98%, 96%, all the way down here. So all these are within 95%. And I'm just going to get the graphical indicator. There, it gives a better presentation for me anyway, for my eye. But what if you wanted to know what stocks were, like you wanted this sort of a list. You wanted stocks that were trading within 5% of the high of the day, but you wanted to be triggered when a stock was up 4%. Just as an example. And of course, the market is closed right now, so this is not going to change. So what you would do is something like this. You would go into select colors, and this screen pops up, okay? Now what I like to do is I like to get everything white first of all. I find that helps. So that's all I basically just clicked on the equal sign, and this little color menu popped up. I clicked on white and I said okay. And then I'm going to choose what I want to be triggered on. And here I'm going to go change from the close. And in this particular case, I want it to be greater than 4%. And I click on the greater than, and I'm going to select the color. Okay, so that's going to be my color. So I know that when a stock is, say, at 3% and then it finally goes to 4%, it's going to change from white to blue. Make sure I add it up there, and you can see already on this side that's exactly what happened. I say okay. And so now you can see that if the market were live right now, BBD, the minute it hit 4%, it would change. And so again, this is a really simple example, but you can see now why I do mine, because I don't have to. What I'm looking for here is the this is the trigger 1796. Well, I don't want to have to be looking and seeing whether or not my stock is is it over 1796. I want to see it. I want to have a very like a great presentation for my eyes of when that stock is over 1796 or 5275. I don't want to have to be constantly scanning this window. So that is a very quick way in which you can color code. Now, you can color code. I could have color coded on many different things. I could have color coded on the today's volume. I could color coded on the range over 30 minutes. I could have color coded any one of these things to trigger. I just chose something that a lot of people understand, of course, is the change from the close, and maybe it's a more obvious thing. But experiment with it. It's really not that hard. Take a look at this video again if you're not completely clear. Email me. I can send you some information also. And but it's a wonderful tool to have. It really is. It has really helped my trading, especially when I'm dealing in top lists. So thank you very much. We'll hopefully see you in the trading room tomorrow, and good trading tomorrow.